Hey, man, the Mayhem here. How are we all doing today? So welcome to part 2 of this series of building my own home lab and server. So far we have looked at the case that I've ordered and a quick unboxing. Tonight we are going to be dismantling my old ATX PC and we're going to be putting that hardware into the new server case and getting it rack mounted. So the first thing we are going to do today is dismantle my old ATX PC. Rather than you watching me take this entire PC apart in real time, you're going to be able to watch me take this apart in about 20 seconds as a time lapse. So let's get this case over to the table. Now that that's all disconnected, we're now going to actually bring over the other case and start building it and putting it all together. Right, so here you can see that I've completely stripped everything out apart from the actual motherboard controls and the USB 3 in the front panel. The first thing that I like to always do when I'm setting up a PC is to make sure that I've actually got the I/O shield in straight away so that I don't accidentally forget to put this in and then put the motherboard in and then regret my life choices later. So let's start by getting that into place here. Right, now that that's in, what I'm going to do is put in some motherboard spacers to make sure all the screws that are built into the case are all the same height. So the first thing I do is I'll tighten these in by hand. It's only on these two spaces that I'm going to need them for my motherboard. And then after that, I will actually use my little screwdriver to tighten them up and just give them a quick nip to make sure that when they are being screwed onto, they're not going to come out onto the motherboard. There we go. Now that the motherboard standoffs are in, I'm actually going to place in my pre-built motherboard. I had to lose the water cooling as I couldn't fit it into this case, but I did seem to have a nice spare cooling system on standby, so it works quite nicely. As you can see, that fits lovely there. What I'm going to do now is put 6 screws in to make sure that this is connected firmly into the standoff so that I don't cause any damage while working on it. The screws that I'm using for this are the ones that came with the kit. One thing that I like to do when I'm fastening these motherboards in is I like to do them in diagonals just to make sure that all the holes line up correctly in the right place. So now our motherboard is firmly connected to the actual chassis of the case. Just while the case is empty and I can get access to it easily, I'm now going to make sure I connect the front panel to the actual motherboard down here. This has always been my least favourite bit to do on a computer build, so I'm going to turn the camera off and bring you back once I've got it plugged in. So that's our front I/O sorted, and I'm just going to route this cable underneath the board just to give us the cleanest, tidiest path to have to deal with later. Something like that. While I'm here, I also may as well plug in my USB 3 into my USB header. And I'll do some more cable tidying with this a bit later down the line. Next thing we're going to do is install our power supply. This is the one that came with the motherboard when I first bought it, so it should be fine for this job. And this is just going to go in over here. Once again, I'm going to mount the screws diagonal to each other, just so it actually all sits in the case nice and square. And then I can then use the other screws to tighten it all fully to the case. That one didn't want to quite sit right. So that's our power supply in nice and tight. So our next step is going to be making sure the board is actually plugged in. So we're going to start off with our main power pins to the whole board. And then we have our 8-pin to plug in as well. One of the nice things about this case is that 3.5 inch tray that I showed at the start of the last video. I'm going to use that as a position to hide all of these cables here. So all of these cables will be in a nice little tangled mess hidden underneath here. The next thing that's going to go in is my RAID controller. This is what controls the J-board that's in the front panel. The previous build did have a graphics card in it, but I've removed it for now. I think I'm going to upgrade it as I don't think it actually works properly anymore. I am wanting to do some graphical pass-through so I can do some video processing on these machines. I've replaced the fan on the front case as the one that was there had Molex, and I want this one to actually be controlled by the motherboard so that all of the actual cooling for this system is controlled by the motherboard and through the BIOS of the actual board itself. Key thing to remember these is to make sure that you have them orientated the correct way. You can find this out by looking for the little arrows that are actually built into the casing itself. The next thing to go in is going to be this backplate and J-bod. This has come from an old server that no longer works, but this J-bod works just fine. The only issue that I have is it's slightly too small to fit into the 5.5 inch bays, so I'm going to have to either print something or make some form of surround to go around the edges to make sure that it's got a nice seal on the front of the case. The way that I've figured out to put this into the caddy is by some M3 Velcro strips, and what this will allow me to do is place the J-bod straight into the caddy, and as you can see it sticks quite firm. I've then also added a 5.5 inch hot swappable 3.5 inch disk drive as well, so any drives that I want to put in here to kind of make backups of, I can do. And this whole part will drop into the server case just here. As said previously, the bottom part of this chassis is going to be used to hide all of the cables from my power supply. So let's have a little look at the cable management so far. We'll route this one down here. We're going to move this one over here, ready for when we get our new graphics card. The main motherboard's power can be slipped underneath into this little section here. This is our SATA power, so we'll move this over to the end here. I don't think we'll need this second power for graphics cards, so we can tuck this away. Run the second SATA with the other one, and our Molex power is going to stay over here with our J-bod. Just for ease of cable tidying as well, I have got a adapter to go from our Molex to SATA so I can power our 3.inch drive from over here. In go our cables for our J-bod. This is where things are going to start to get a bit messy. Now I need to start putting in some extra drives. On the drive caddy, I've managed to put 2 Western Digital 1TB in and mount my SSD to the side to keep all of the cable management hopefully as neat as possible. The SSD will be my operating system and the 2 single terabyte drives will be for all of my ISOs. These will be connected directly to the motherboard. After a bit of playing around, I decided to use both SATA power cables to kind of reduce the stress and the tension of the cables when plugging in the 3 drives here. This does, however, leave me with 3 cables to play with later if I want to expand my storage drives. With it being the furthest away, I only see it being fitting to put the largest cable there over here. This is our first of many SATA cables to go in. So this is for our 3.5-inch hot swappable drive bay. I'm going to use this black short one for my operating system. This red cable for drive number 1. Last but not least, one more black cable for my second storage drive. So the only thing left to go on now is the actual chassis bracket, which should fit just straight onto here. Right, so we're all assembled. This is officially the moment of truth. So power's at the back. Now for the power button at the front. We have lights, we have fans. Let's see if we post. We have a screen. It looks like our LSI card has been registered. So it looks like our RAID writer work on the front. They've initialized and it's found the hard drives in there. And there we go, we are into our BIOS settings. Superb. So a quick reboot and hopefully we'll get into Proxmox. And there we go. We are now booting Proxmox. And here is our server all racked up now. Right, so that's our server all racked up and sorted. So part 3 of this video will be coming soon, and that'll be me reinstalling Proxmox and having a fresh install and getting that JBOD set up and passed through. So if you've enjoyed this, please feel free to like, follow and subscribe. If you want to see a quick unboxing of the case, feel free to watch my first video, and I hope to see you next time. Until then, happy hacking, see you next time.